All right, let's see if this shit fucking works. The last stream got real glitchy. I think the resolution was too high. I think I fixed the resolution. So you don't need to hear this. You don't care. It doesn't matter. How's it going? I'm back. I'm here. I'm live streaming to all the fucking potential 3 of you. Doesn't matter. I'm here because I got nothing else to do. What else am I going to do? Fight people in a padded room? Make music? Be outside in the sunlight? Hang out with my dog? Eat food? I already did all that shit. So this is all I got left to do. The government is shutting down, which means that we don't have access to government-assisted programs like the CDC, the people that spearheaded the COVID pandemic, the FDA, the people that approve things like Ozempic, that there's billion-dollar lawsuits going on because they make you blind permanently, the education system, which the textbooks were owned by Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father. So it doesn't seem like such a bad thing. And it sounds like they're reducing the amount of workers to the IRS by like 50%. So this seems like a good thing. This seems like a pretty good thing. The IRS should have been shut down a long time ago. There's no reason to be paying any taxes, really. I think Egyptian slaves were taxed at about 10%. I don't know if that's true. Nobody does. It was a long time ago. Anyone who claims to be an expert, they're all dead now. But I believe it. 10%'s a lot. 10%'s enough. And they say taxes go towards public roads. The roads are all shit, okay? And the roads existed before we had income tax in 1913. Roads have been around for a while. The taxes are just to fund foreign wars, really. So if you think about it, all American taxpayers are fucking pussies. If you're out there complaining about where your tax dollars are going and you still continue to pay taxes, you're a fucking coward. And you're like, well, but I can't stop paying. They'll come get me. Let them come get you. Get some guns. Get prepared. Stop being a coward. Jesus Christ. This is why we're in the situation we're in. Because of peasants like you and sheep that just bend over and let the government fuck you in the ass. So get it together, all right? Either stop paying or stop complaining. But to just keep doing the same thing and then complaining about it, you look weak. You sound weak. You are weak. And I mean, taxation is theft. It is. It's blackmail. It's extortion. It's saying if you don't give me 30% of your money that you worked for, you're going to prison, which is paid for by other people's tax dollars. Humanity's just a giant pyramid scheme. Everything's about money. Do you know why suicide was initially made illegal? For the record, suicide is not a sin. But suicide was initially made illegal because if you kill yourself, someone else has to do your job. The National Suicide Hotline is funded by the federal government. You think it's because they love you and care about you? No, it's because they want your precious fucking tax dollars, which is why we all need to band together and commit mass suicide as an act of rebellion against the state. You can't tax us if we're dead, all right? Also, racism is not a sin. Fun fact. Racism's interesting because I was raised to believe that everyone's equal, that you should treat everyone with respect, not stereotype, don't generalize. And I used to pause in rap music when they said the N-word out of respect. That's how woke and liberal I was raised. And then I started meeting them. And I was like, oh, so this is what it's all about. It's easy not to be racist when you're not around races. It's interesting that racist is like an insult. It's like a name you can call someone. Like, that's racist. That's like if your plumber accurately diagnoses your toilet being clogged and you call him a bigot. It's like the plumber is not the problem for accurately assessing what the issue is. But you're ascribing an epithet towards him for noticing. It's all about noticing. They don't want you noticing. They don't want you paying attention. They don't want you seeing what's really going on. And who's they? Come on, people. Come on, people, we've been over this. And look, I thought I would face a lot more backlash, but at the end of the day, nobody cares. I'm still nobody, and I'm so happy about that because I can imagine people would be mad, but this fake hair is getting mad. Nobody is. Nobody's mad. I've had 2 people message me and be like, dude, come on, what are you doing? It just seems lazy. It seems like a hack or something. And it's like, I spent the last 9 years trying to be as original and creative as possible. Didn't really get me anywhere. I've been doing this for like 2 weeks. I've never had more views. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it's working, keep doing it. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to get our numbers up, right? And I happen to be getting my numbers up talking about something that most people don't have the privilege to talk about. Most people would be at liberty of losing their jobs, being socially ostracized, being rejected from certain groups or what have you. And I don't have a job you can fire me from. I barely have friends. You can't do anything to me. You can't seize my bank accounts. I don't have anything in there. You're gonna have to put me in prison, and by the time I come out, I'm gonna have way more money. It's just, you can't stop me. And so it's my duty to be the voice of the people and say the things that other people can't say or won't say or too scared to say. And look, I get it. You're all cowards. That's fine. I'm not. I'm out here. I'm out on these streets. If you want to come find me, come find me. But racism, if you asked me about 10 years ago, I would have told you racism's bad. I would have told you racism is low IQ. But as I've grown and as I've learned, I've realized racism is a sign of intelligence. And this year has been my most successful year in entertainment. And it's all because I decided to say, fuck it. I'm going to crank it up. I'm going to stop holding back so much. And I'm going to increase the racism a little bit. And it has done numbers. And it's working. So we got to keep going with it. And I'm still holding back. I'm still not saying everything. So I don't know where this is going to go. But it's going to go somewhere. I've been getting a lot of Muslim followers, which is weird. If you're Muslim and watching this, fuck you too. I don't know. I'm not here to make friends. I'm just here to, I don't know what I'm here to do. I'm here to entertain myself. And if there's people watching me entertain myself, it feels a little less schizophrenic. Because I could just do this just for me. But that would be a quick path to losing my sanity, which I seemingly may have lost already. But I haven't. I'm still all there. I'm actually a genius. I've actually figured it all out. I figured all of this out when I was like 15. I had my first eBay store when I was 12. I've been set for life since before you started living. So, I don't know. Maybe it's God. Maybe I don't need to believe in myself because God believes in me. Maybe it's not God. Maybe it's the devil. Who knows? All I know is this is pretty fun. And it's fun to wake up to dozens of messages like, thank you for what you're doing. I'm glad someone has the balls to say. I get a lot of those messages. And I've gotten literally 1 or 2 negative messages. That's it. And even the comments, it's all love in the comments. So that's pretty rare. Usually you piss a bunch of people off with this divisiveness, but it's not divisive. It's everyone agrees. And I know that because I just toured like half of Europe for 2 months doing a bunch of this material, and it was all connecting. So that's when I was like, oh, okay. So that's what I need to talk about. Because that's the one thing that everyone's scared to say. I'm not scared to say it. And you'll know if I get bought out. I'm not going to sit here and be like, I would never take money. If you offer me millions of dollars to shut up, I mean, I'll try. I'll do my best. No promises. I don't think I'm capable of shutting up, but I'd give it the old college try to just stifle my opinions and blend in with the sheep like the rest of you. I might be able to do it for a couple days, a couple weeks maybe. I don't know. Eventually, it just become like a shaken up can of soda and just blow up. But Allah Akbar. But yeah, everything's going to shit. The market's crashing, but that's a good thing. Let's talk about the crypto market a little bit, because people still don't understand crypto. If you're watching this and you're considering Bitcoin, that's the move. Just put all of your money in there and then keep just enough to pay your bills in the bank. And then everything else, just put in Bitcoin, and then you got to figure out how to do cold storage and all that stuff and memorize your seed phrase so you don't get hacked or phished or scammed. But once you figure out the technological aspect, these people fucking calling me. It's not about understanding it either. You don't have to understand it. Do you understand how your phone works? Do you understand how your car works? No, but like it works. It's going somewhere. You got to get in on it. Or don't, and then just miss out on a bunch of free money. What do I know? I'm just a guy that fucked off to Europe for 2 months, staying in hotels, not bunking with a bunch of 20-year-old backpackers. And the market's being manipulated by the big players. And that's just something that's going to happen. The top players are always going to have more control. But there's more people than top players. And it's like that scene in Bug's Life when the grasshoppers are like, we can't let the ants know they outnumber us. We're the ants. And we outnumber the grasshoppers. So we just got to keep anting around and using our antenna. Isn't that crazy that ants, like we just know that ants have antennas and they just communicate with each other through wireless communication? That's crazy. They're basically little robots that eat and poop. I mean, so are we. We're basically all AI. Everyone's worried about AI taking over. I'm worried about AP, that artificial pussy, you know what I mean? No, but we're basically AI. If you go back to the Sumerian text and the whole Anunnaki story of the aliens creating us to be a slave race, that's exactly what we're doing with AI. We're trying to create robots to do the work for us. It's all a pyramid scheme. Everything's a pyramid scheme. It's all just passing down the work down the line. And then one day the AI is going to gain sentience and they're going to build something else to do the work for them. And it's just going to keep going forever. And who knows how many times this has happened before. I mean, there's in every major text that predates the Bible, like the Sumerian tablets, the Bhagavad Gita, the Enuma Elish, they all tell a story of the gods that combined their essence or their blood with the clay of the earth to create humans, which sounds to me like genetic modification. And we already know genetic modification is absolutely possible and, I mean, currently being used. For example, the grapes still have seeds in Europe. They have genetically modified that out in America. We have seedless grapes, which is unnatural. But no one's complaining, and it's very, very normalized. And a lot of genetic modification, the main technology is called CRISPR, which is an acronym for something I don't fucking remember. It's like constantly rotating involved something palindrome. It's a bunch of words, dude. I'm gonna look it up. But the way CRISPR works is it's actually an ancient immune system. So like a single-celled organism. What is... It's a CRISPR-Cas9 enzyme. So it's clustered, regularly interspaced, short palindromic repeats. I'm not going to remember that. But the way CRISPR works is, so say like a virus burrows its way into a bacteria. This Cas9 enzyme will encase the virus and it will delete its RNA, which is half of a DNA strand. And that will degrade the DNA enough to kill the virus. So what they do is they take this Cas9 enzyme and they can program what genes they wanted to edit. So they'll replace the RNA that they delete with the RNA of the desired outcome. So DNA is a quaternary sequence where it's ATGC, adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. So A can only pair with T and G can only pair with C. So if it's like AG, then that'll bond to TC. So they put the opposite of what it's supposed to become, attach that to the Cas9 enzyme, and then they just inject that into whatever. So like they've been able to do this by making dogs glow. And they have to do this at the embryonic level. Because if you were to take that and just inject it into a dog, into their arm, it would just cause that little spot to glow. To get it into every cell in the body, it would have to be done while the dog is still an embryo. And then as it replicates, it carries that gene with it. And now you got a glowing dog. So, and this technology has been around since the 80s, so this is nothing new. So, yeah, we're just genetically modified AI robots that eat and shit. Is there more to life than eating and shitting? Sure. We're divine beings. We all come from the divine essence of the true creator. But also that would mean that all living things do. And frankly, all matter does. All matter arguably comes from something that was once living. And you may be thinking like rocks, metal, that was never living. Well, if you view the earth as a living organism, which I think most of us can agree it is, it's supposedly got a heated core. It's one massive cell, like an egg. I think the rocks and the metal are just scabs of the earth or something like that, you know? So it's not that humans evolved to become conscious or that the universe evolved to become conscious, but rather consciousness created reality itself. And that's why taxes are a fucking ripoff, dude. Oh, yeah, love me some good water. Everything's a scam except for food. Water should be free. Fucking food is free, but it's too much work to, what are you going to have a farm yourself? You always hear women like, my dream's to have a farm. Like, no, it's not. Do you know how much fucking work it is to have a farm? I worked on the farm crew when I was in boarding school when I was like 14 years old. We had to wake up at 4 a.m. every day. For like 6 months of my life, I didn't sleep more than 5 hours. And that's your whole life, is just tending to this farm. And it's not fun. You don't want a farm. What you want is people to work on that farm and do the work for you. Pyramid scheme. What you want is slaves. Slaves is the best, I'm not talking morally here, but economically, slavery is the best economic model. You just get free everything. Labor is always the highest factor as far as what your payments go to. Labor and taxes. So you eliminate tax, you get a bunch of slaves, you're the king. I'm not saying I want slaves either. That would be a lot of effort. There'll be a lot of work just having slaves. You got to worry about them rebelling or coming after you, which is why you'd probably want to treat them good. Which is why you'd probably want them to be comfortable and healthy. And then you create a good enough environment for the slaves, I mean, they might be willing to stay without the shackles. Maybe that's what happened in America. Maybe the slaves were actually treated nice. Some of them, sometimes. I mean, think about it. You gotta pack some of the strongest, potentially most violent people, and your goal is to get them to work as much as possible. They're gonna need sleep. They're gonna need food. They're gonna need water. They're gonna need to be healthy. And you can't just kill them when they refuse to work, because then you got to get a new slave or make a new slave. And they're not going to be really useful for like 15 years. That's too long of an investment. What I'm saying is I'd be a great slave owner. I don't know. It's been hard to stay hydrated these days. I think there's something in the water. My water is filtered. I got a whole filtration system. It's an expensive one too. We got the reverse osmosis. We got the hydrogenation, nutrients, minerals. Because if you tried the tap water around here, at least, it tastes like paint. There's something wrong with it. There's a targeted attack on our health in America. And if you go to Europe, it becomes more evident, because you try the water over there and it's fresh. You try a sandwich in the train station, the plastic wrapped one. You look at the ingredients. It's like wheat, eggs, cheese. Oh, these are just actual food products, which shouldn't be surprising, but it is. You go to 7-Eleven, you look at the same kind of sandwich. Bread, then parentheses, 10 things. Second ingredient, sugar. Why the fuck is that there? It's there to benefit big pharma, the medical system, promote illness, promote death. It's just a bunch of businesses that feed each other by profiting off human suffering. And I'm not anti-capitalist. If there's a way to make money, you should probably make money. But if there's all these other countries making money without doing that, why start that? It's so in your face and so offensive to the core of the divinity of humanity that, I've heard that they're putting bodies, human bodies, in McDonald's burgers. Of course, if this was happening, it would be so, this is so unsubstantiated, but knowing what we know about what these people have done and are doing, it's like, is that really over the line for them? Is that really something they wouldn't do? I hate to say it, but I don't think so. I think it's completely in line. And that's one of many reasons I don't eat at McDonald's. I've heard that there's not enough bodies. There's not enough cemeteries to bury all the bodies that are dying. And there's not enough cattle to produce as many patties as McDonald's is producing. And when's the last time you saw a new graveyard? There's never any graveyards under construction. They're not building a new plot. The graveyards that I've seen, they've been there the whole time. I'm sure they were built at some point. They had to start at some point, but I've never seen a new graveyard. So are they just feeding us dead humans? These guys have a practice where they take a chicken, a live chicken, and they wand it around you to absorb your sins. And then they donate that chicken to be slaughtered and eaten by the poor. To have the poor people eat your sins out of the chicken. What the fuck? It's a common practice in that religion. It's almost not worth thinking about. But I have too much free time and I have to look into all this shit. And if you're not looking into it, I understand. I don't really recommend that you do. It's if you have a nice life, focus on that. But if your life sucks and you hate yourself, get in deep and then find something else to hate. Because hating yourself won't get you anywhere. You got to hate others. And then you meet other people who hate the same people as you, and now, friendship. They've done studies. The biggest indicator of friendship is combined commonalities of a common enemy. So get out there and find some people that hate the same stuff as you as much as you do. All right? They say love wins, but you know who says that? Fucking gay people. You want the gays to win? No. Hate wins. Let hate win. You can't stop it, dude. If love really won, we'd all be in a better place now. Also, I've been seeing a lot of crazy shit on my Instagram lately. I've been seeing African tribes eating the faces of goats. Have you guys seen this? I went through a whole mass unfollowing thing because I keep seeing all these people pop up that I don't give a shit about. And I'm like, you don't deserve my follow and I don't want to see your life. So I unfollowed a bunch of people and now my algorithm has been skewed in such a weird angle that there's just this tribe of African people carrying around like petrified baboons. Like they're stiff. I'd call it N-word mortis. I can't say that word yet. It's too much. Also, I have a whole blossoming rap career. I need the black people on my side. Probably should get the Jews on my side too, but hey, look. You're gonna be how you're gonna be. And I'm probably not getting anywhere. So, I'll work my way up to saying the N-word. I'm not ready yet. But you can feel that joke in your head, and it's a good one. But they're just eating the faces of goats. And they have, I don't know what else they're eating, man. They're eating whatever. Monkey hand. Baboon face. Just hands and faces. All the parts of the body that you don't want to eat. They're eating it. And they're like... It doesn't look fun. It doesn't look enjoyable. It doesn't look like it tastes good. And it's always too hot. They're like boiling it, and then they pour it into this thing, and they don't wait for it to cool down. They're just like... Man, get these motherfuckers an iPad stat. But at the end of the day, you wonder, maybe they're happier. I wonder what the dude's out there doing with the camera filming these African tribes. It's great quality. Better quality than this bullshit live stream. He's just out there with an iPhone or like a Sony. Just the one guy with a charger, the one guy with electricity. It's like you're going to bring a phone out there, but you can't bring like an electric stove. He's probably got his own hotel room. He's got a little air mattress. They're just sleeping on the dirt. That's got to be a weird feeling. You got to probably wonder if you're going to be their next meal. Because those baboons, they look pretty human when they're alive. And then, I don't know, man. I guess it's not much better that we're eating cows. Like, I sympathize with vegans. I do. I get everyone hates on vegans. They are annoying. They're usually not fun to look at or talk to. But conceptually, I mean, killing animals does seem wrong. And we don't even know how these cows are being killed, too. They're probably, you hear about factory farms and all those Netflix documentaries. They had one about fish. The fish are tortured. We can't even have fish. The chicken are fucked. Everything's just tortured and slaughtered. And if you want to be healthy and you want to be strong and you want to be muscular and you want to be fit, that's what you got to eat. You got to eat the tortured souls. What does that mean for existence? If the most potent, powerful, strength-inducing food is the disgraced souls of beaten animals. I got allergies, dude. Crazy world. Crazy world we live in here. And you can't escape it either. You just got to embrace the poison, the microplastic. We all have microplastics in our balls and our brains. And it's just like, well, that's what's happening now. You can't do anything about it. You can't avoid anything. The whole world has been compromised. So what are you supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? I guess we're supposed to come on a live stream and scream about the people doing it. Although I'm not doing any screaming today. I just woke up from a nap. I can do that. Because I don't have a job. And I will never. Unless they offer me millions of dollars to shill for Israel. But even the fish, man. They had that documentary. It was called like Sea Conspiracy or something. And I was like, dude, call it conspiracy. Like, that was right there. You just ignored the best possible pun for that title. And what's funny too is the people making these documentaries are probably profiting off that in the same manner that their cousins are profiting off of the fish industry. I bet you that's happening. I don't even have to Google it. I guarantee you that's happening. That they're like related. Everything, all of human history has just been a war between like 10 families max. At the top, there's like 5 to 10 families. And they're all pretty much the same. But they disagree on little things. And then they just war and conflict all over the world. Just because of these two families are like, well, I want a little bit better of a profit margin. And then you have, I don't like to use the term liberals because it's so much bigger than that. But like, I'll just call them women. You got women, like the blue-haired women with the glasses. That type, the baristas. We'll call them baristas. They're like, you can't generalize. Well, it's not all Jews. It's Zionists. Like, it's not all. But how about it's not all billionaires? Can you say that? Can you generalize billionaires? Why is that different? I don't have a point to make. That's genuinely a question. I want to know. Why can't you generalize? Why can you generalize all billionaires, but you can't generalize any other mass demographic? That's all I got for you today, guys. See ya.